Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
Can I take over the podcast today?
Please.
Sure.
Sam.
I would like to make this an educational podcast from Professor Sam.
Okay, what does that mean?
You may have, and there are times we wonder, how do they come up with a date for Easter? Why isn't it the same day every year like Christmas is?
Because it's based on Passover and, oh gosh.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to get into.
Okay.
I just want to help everybody. 8 years of religion class at Holy Cross, I picked up a few things.
Good. And I had many, many years of Sunday school.
Yeah, there you go.
With my family.
3 basic things. Easter is determined as the first Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox.
Okay.
The spring equinox.
That's not what the Bible said, but okay.
What did
I'm
the Bible
joking.
say?
Oh, I'm joking. I'm just being...
Spring equinox is March 21st. Well, it could be before that, could be later than that, but the church has their own spring equinox is March 21st every year.
And the spring equinox is the first day of spring.
Right. And on a regular, like Gregorian or astronomical calendar, like I said, it could be on the 19th, could be on the 22nd, but the church it's always the 21st.
Okay.
Period. So Easter,
Easter
can be anywhere between the 22nd and the 25th, April 25th.
I have a question for
Sure.
Professor Sam. So you learned this in religion class?
Yeah.
I never learned that. That was never spoken. It was all about Jesus. And this was Sunday school. And it was all about Jesus and him dying on the cross and the resurrection and the stone being moved away. And he's not there and he's risen.
It's related. I mean, it's the same story, but all that stuff is the actual
religion.
Process of what happened. Coming into town, the whole week there, and then the crucifixion, resurrection, etc.
Okay.
So March 21st, that's our first day. The first full moon after that, which just so happens to happen this weekend.
Okay.
This is going to be the first full moon this weekend, and it's a special full moon. That first full moon after spring, after the first day of spring, it's called the Paschal moon, Paschal.
Okay.
And that's from the Greek and Latin Passover.
Never knew it.
So this is the Passover moon we're going to have Saturday night.
Okay.
And then the Farmer's Almanac and all those call it a pink moon. You know how they have all those new names now?
Yes.
So in that, it's a pink moon Saturday night. Otherwise, it's the Paschal moon. And so then we go to the first Sunday after the first full moon. And I know what your next question is. If the full moon is Saturday, how come this Sunday is not Easter?
It's Palm Sunday.
Yeah, but they don't. If it's on Saturday night, they don't put the Easter on the next day. It's the week after. Because we got to have a little Passover in there. So Passover starts with the full moon and goes through Easter.
See, this is why people don't actually ask why. They look at the calendar and they just, and pick it.
When it comes down to it, it's just those 3 things. The first full moon after spring, the first Sunday after the first full moon after the first day of spring.
Well, I'm so glad that you broke it down because it really is. It's one of those days, it's one of those holidays that floats and changes because of everything you just stated, where other holidays don't necessarily.
So it goes to show you that, a tradition takes place and nobody really thinks about it after a while.
Sure.
Taylor and Phoebe were talking about that the other day, that when they get married, there are some things that they just don't want to do. They don't want to do the garter. They think the garter is kind of creepy and kind of weird now. And
it's outdated, maybe.
And you can see how it's outdated. I mean, I guess during a time where that was like, oh, my God, taboo stuff, whatever, But I don't know what started the tradition of the garter, but it still becomes part of it. But it's part of every wedding. It's assumed. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's going to be a groom's cake and a bride's cake. Why? Don't know. It's the way it's always been done. There's so much stuff like that that you really don't know the story behind.
Taylor and Phoebe, though, both work for an event place where they get to see and be a part of weddings all the time. So they have a lot of opinions about, yes, I'm going to do this, and no, I'm not going to do that. And it's funny because the last few receptions we've ever been to, Murphy, I don't remember the garter happening. I feel like it's happening less and less. When I was a little girl, the first time I saw that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Scandalous. And I loved it.
And it's always anticlimactic, too. You shoot the garter and it goes 2 feet.
It's about him getting the garter
everybody's
off,
like, hey, wait.
And it's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty.
And the flowers, too. There's the flower toss, too.
Yeah.
But they're just little random things they're born for some reason and they stick. Salt and pepper always come together. Why? Don't know. Somebody did it for the first time somewhere along the line.
I never thought of that. I think they go together.
But I mean but that's the thing, right?
Yeah. Why are they the two basic
Why do they go together and not?
The reason they go together for you is because because it was how you were introduced to it as a kid.
That's right.
If you grew up and salt and pepper were on a table at every restaurant or whatever, it's a tradition.
Correct.
And you really don't wind up questioning those things. It's kind of crazy. I guess the same thing goes for a Christmas tree. I've never really asked why we put up Christmas trees.
I feel like I knew this at one point. I feel like I asked why a long time ago, and I knew it, but I can't remember. I could not.
Right, but
Google's
it's something.
free.
But it's something that you plan to do if you're celebrating Christmas every year, right? I mean, so it's just tradition is like that, and how you don't question it. And it never even occurred to me until Taylor and Phoebe were talking about, the garter part. It's like, that does feel a little bit out of date today. Just I mean,
it's okay.
Yeah. And then, the whole bouquet, the next to get married, Taylor says that you'll see those have its awkward moments. They see so many of the weddings, like Jodi was saying, that it has its awkward moments. For some, it goes out great. For some, it results in arguments. Go figure,
Yeah, and that's the beauty, though, of your own wedding. You can do whatever you want.
Correct.
You really can. Unless, as Taylor puts it, you have a momzilla involved. For her, working as an event coordinator at a place where they host a lot of weddings and receptions, she says sometimes it's not the bride that is, gives them the most sort of trouble, but it's the moms, like, mom of the bride or mom of the groom that wants things a certain way. And she's like, you know what, we do. You can see that everyone sort of acquiesces to that person because they're paying.
Well, they're paying and they're the mom. The mom, of course, is going to be particular on a big day like that, right?
For weddings, too, are they still doing something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue?
I don't think so. Not the ones that Taylor and Phoebe have seen. And that's, you have to be close to the bride to know that.
Yeah.
You have to, it's been a long time since a friend of mine got married. The last time a friend of mine got married was more than 10 years ago. We were there at her wedding, and I don't think she did that. I don't think she had, all that. And I didn't think to ask. And she's one of my very best friends, so I would have known if that was going on.
Yeah, some traditions will just roll off and fade.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird. They don't stick while the others do. And it's sort of like, what is it? The 25th anniversary, the 50th anniversary, every anniversary supposedly has something that goes with it.
Right.
But I think all that is gone now. I mean, I know that there used to be the bride would get a book, and the book would have all those kinds of things in it. That would,
Lordy,
have
really?
this is the anniversary things. It was the book was called To the Bride, I think, and it had everything from like recipes to Actually, some of that's probably pretty outdated too, because it was like how to do things around the house. You know what I mean? And it was very home economics focused.
Yeah. How to keep your husband happy.
That was a very different time too. So yes, some traditions need to change, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. With modern times.
And then others are the ones that we just cherish, and then most apparently don't question at all.
Yeah. If we're getting rid of holidays, can we shoot for April Fools first?
Well, who said we're getting rid of holidays? Yeah. We're getting rid of traditions, not holidays.
Okay, well, let's get rid of that tradition.
I thought you would like April Fools the most with your rubber roaches.
No, rubber roaches only go so far, and you can't pull out a roach every year.
Right, but you could do it every day, really. You don't have to wait till April 1st, right?
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.